What's good, everybody? Today we are going to be ranking Star Wars episodes 1 through 9. Let's get into it.
Mm, 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 mm.
Episode 1. We're going to start this off low key B tier. And here's why. The Anakin racing scene. This scene was nothing but just a daggum filler. I'm just gonna put it out there. It was filler for the movie. Ain't nobody gonna say, "Oh man, did you see that Anakin racing scene? That was so." No, ain't nobody gonna give two craps. As you could tell just from what's being seen, everything's trash. Everybody's panicking. Everybody's acting stupid. And I think everybody already knew that Anakin was going to, get his stupid little thing going, and he's going to win the race. Me personally, if you ask me, it was filler. Nobody enjoyed it. If you said you did, you're just delusional, and that's my thoughts on it. The fight scene with Maul versus Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon. And in my opinion, this was probably like a top 5 fight scene of all time in the Star Wars genre. You've got Prime, Padawan Obi-Wan and his master Qui-Gon going up a very, very experienced Sith Lord. And in my opinion, that was a very good fight. That was the interesting part about the whole movie, really, pretty much. And Maul's whole thing was to destroy Anakin. That wasn't gonna work. And if you ask me, that fight was great. I had a lot of storytelling. Qui-Gon dies. He gets absolutely cooked by Maul fairly quickly. And then Obi-Wan came in and he took that personal and he cooks him, chops his big old legs off. Now for episode 2. And in my opinion, I'm just going to rank this a C. That's where it belongs. That's where it should be at.
Brother,
And now, the reason why it's C tier, the main reason is because of these two absolute ding-dongs, Anakin and Padme. They're sitting over here in the flowers, acting like this is 50 Shades of Grey. If I wanted to watch a romance movie, I would just turn on a Christmas Hallmark movie, not Attack of the Whole movie. For the best part of the movie was the 2v1 with Dooku versus Anakin and Obi-Wan. And in my opinion, that might be another top 5 fight, low-key, maybe out of that range. In this fight, you really got to see Padawan Anakin really get put to the test against another Sith Lord. Obi-Wan, he kind of got, I don't know what happened to him. It was really just Anakin versus Dooku, in my opinion. Anakin, his arm got chopped off. It flopped onto the ground. I think if Anakin was more experienced, Dooku would have probably been cooked right then and there, low-key, because, Anakin ended up having 2 lightsabers. After his arm got chopped off, Yoda came in, and they both fled like a bunch of ding-dongs. Dooku was too old to fight. And that is the reason why Attack of the Clone is C.
That's what I'm talking about! That's why he's the MVP! That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
And for the next one on the list, we're doing Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. And that one is really just a no-brainer. We're going to slam that up there in S tier, and here is a couple reasons why. Alright, just got back from Diddy's house with the baby oil, and we're fixing to lather this movie up. I don't care if you're Mike Tyson, John Jones. Heck, I don't even care if you're Stevie Wonders. Fight me in the comments. This movie is a top 5 movie all time, and you cannot convince me otherwise. From Dooku getting his head chopped off to General Grievous getting his heart absolutely blasted into the next universe. Also, don't forget the younglings getting snapped up by Anakin Skywalker himself. This is the best fight in Star Wars movie history. Anakin choking out his wife, no diddy. Obi-Wan cutting Anakin's big old legs off. This movie is so peak. Now, Episode 4, in my opinion, is B tier, and here's why. This is where you get to see Luke, Han, Vader, Chewie, Leia, Obi-Wan. The movie starts with Vader trying to find the princess, and then he kidnaps her, which leads to Luke, Obi-Wan, Chewie, Han. to rescue her. In that process, you see Vader fight Old Man Kenobi, which was the worst fight ever in Star Wars history. But the reason why it's B tier is storytelling. It had a lot of good story. Unlike Episode 2, it had a better ending. Star Wars Episode 5 is going in A tier. And I don't want to hear no if, ands, or buts about it in the comments.
It was perfect. Perfect. Everything, down to the last minute details.
It starts off with Luke getting snatched up by a big old white Yeti, and Han had to go out and save him. After all that, Luke goes and finds the crackhead himself, Yoda. Fast forward towards the end, we see Lando betray Han to Vader, and Boba Fett gets like 1 minute of screen time, I don't know why. Han then gets frozen, shipped off to Jabba the Hutt like he's an Amazon package. Vader and Luke are fighting, and by the way, that fight was great. But Vader tells Luke that he's the big old daddy, and that is why it gets A tier. Star Wars Episode 6 will go into S tier, and here is why. It starts off in Jabba's palace with Leia as a slave and Chewie as a prisoner. Luke comes in, beats a monster. Jabba brings all of them to the weird tentacle pit thing or whatever it is. A fight breaks out with Boba getting eaten alive but somehow survives later on. Luke blows up the ship and everybody celebrates. Then we get the Ewoks, which are a very big part of the movie. Yoda then tells Luke that he's ready for Vader. Luke tells Leia that they are siblings. Then Luke confronts Vader and Papa Palps. They end up fighting each other. Luke then was getting fried by Palpatine, and Vader said, "No, I'm the daddy," and yeets him down a hole. Pause. Vader then wants to see Luke with his own eyeballs, then dies, gets blown up with the Death Star, and everybody starts singing Kumbaya, which is why I think it deserves S tier. Now for Episode 7, and I think that goes into B tier. This movie had a lot of new people, including Kylo Ren absolutely aura farming for the very first bit. We get to see Finn, which was also a stormtrooper, save Poe. They then crashed on Tatooine. We then got to see Rey for a little bit. She found Finn and BB-8. They then left in the Millennium Falcon and met Han in the process. They go to Maz's castle to fight a bunch of stormtroopers. Rey gets snatched up by Kylo. She finds a way to get free. And towards the end, Kylo snaps up Han Solo, which was kind of shocking. Then we get Finn versus Kylo, which I think we all know how that ended. We get Rey versus Kylo, and for some reason, Rey beats Kylo, which made absolutely no sense, considering it was the first time she used a lightsaber. She escapes, finds the bum himself, Luke Skywalker. Star Wars Episode 8 will be going into D tier, and there's really not much to say. This movie had the dumbest scenes known to man, besides the Snoke scene, but other than that, it sucked, and it's the worst movie in the series. Last but not least, Star Wars Episode 9, and we will be putting it into C tier. And there's, again, not much to say. The first half of the movie was decent, but the second half was not too good. Like Poe saying Palpatine somehow returned. Or the fight with Rey and Kylo. Kylo would have won that, but didn't. And Rey helped him, came back being a Jedi, and trading lives with Rey at the end. Just think, Kylo gave his life to Rey just for her to say this.
Who are you?
I'm Rey.
Rey who?
Rey Skywalker.
If you made it to the end, don't forget to like and subscribe for more ranking content. Also, comment below what other ranking videos you want to see. Thanks for tuning in, God bless, and peace.